Manchester United have ruined a lot of lives, haven't we? We've ruined a lot of lives. We're rent free, living in there. When they tell us Man United have got no stadium, it's falling down, we're broke, it's always good to know that if our stadium does fall apart and fall down, we'll still live rent free. No rent needed because, as I say, it's rent free. We're already in the heads and the minds of all the rivals, of all the fans, of all the clubs we absolutely destroyed for years and embarrassed and ruined childhoods and traumatized, gave out PTSD. Yeah. It's absolutely glorious. First and foremost, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share button, join the memberships if you want, all that good jazz. Welcome back to Touchlinefacts, and let's get straight into it. So, let's give you a lot a bit of context. Lyon yesterday, it was announced that they're getting relegated to League Two because, for those of you that don't know, Lyon are in 500 million. I didn't know it was this bad, by the way. I knew they was in debt, but I didn't know it was 500 million euro in debt. Which, let's give you a bit more context. Lyon, as a football club, are only worth about 400 million euros. So they're in debt, more debt than their club's actually worth. So now they've been relegated to League Two, and they may never actually come back. Well, not come back, but they may end up getting like another. You know what I'm saying? It might continuously happen. They might continuously get deduct points because Ligue 1 don't pay that much, let alone League Two. You know what I'm saying? So they might end up being really in the shitters unless an owner comes and saves them, or their current owner gets his money in his pocket. Yeah? They got relegated to League Two. And you're thinking, let me go on Twitter and just see what everyone's talking about. Go in the quotes. Lyon have been relegated due to a 500 million euro debt, while the Premier League allow Man United. But Man United. Lyon have been relegated. But Man United is what I'm seeing. But Man, and also, by the way, I'm gonna say it as well as Man City. This applies to Man City as well. But Man City. It's not it's not Lyon have been relegated. Let's talk why they've been relegated. Let's add the context. It's but Man United or but Man City. Let me just show you lot real quick. Let's look at this, bruv. Look at this. NUFC Gallagher. I'm going to just debunk, and give them another education lesson because I love educating these jewelies because they're so stupid. It's hilarious. Honestly, the GCSEs, did they skip them in Newcastle? Is it not an obligation to do a GCSE in Newcastle? Not that a GCSE makes you smart, because it doesn't. But however, you know what I mean? You should have at least some level of basic IQ in England because education is free. Google is free, brother. Just do some research. But listen to this. Lyon relegated due to 500 million euro debt, while the Premier League allow Man United to spend spend with debts over $1 billion. Oh my gosh, I actually can't believe it. Honestly. Hurts my brain reading it. Firstly, Man United are not in over £1 billion in debt. You've been, as I keep saying, you've been conned by the fucking media. They are lying to you. We have Man United as a football club are only in £300 million debt that everyone else is also in, by the way. Every football club in the Premier League is pretty much in debt. Do you know why? Because no one pays money up front. I guarantee Newcastle are still probably paying off Alexander Isak. They're probably still paying off. I don't. Sandro Tonali didn't have a release clause, did he? They sold him. They're probably still paying these deals off. You are not. You are in debt as well, brother. You are in debt as well, brother. But you don't even realise that because you're so thick. You're so thick in your stupid brain. Right, let's get into it. Lyon relegated, cool. But Man United, again, traumatised. Yeah, traumatised. But that's not even the worst bit, by the way. I'm going to get into it. That's not even the worst fucking bit. Yeah? This guy, we need to... Oh, mate. It's honestly hilarious. It's hilarious hearing Newcastle fans do it when they were bitching about Mike Ashley. Now, all of a sudden, they get some rich sugar daddy, in Saudi, and all of a sudden, they don't care about bad ownership anymore. All of a sudden, that don't matter. All of a sudden, for all the things that they went through under Ashley, they don't care about bad ownership. They don't care about it. For all that shit they went under Ashley. Hilarious, isn't it? This is not even the worst bit. I swear, Dan, it's not the worst bit. Not even the worst bit. The comments are the worst bit. Yeah? Corruption, hashtag PSR. You are not going to like this, but some teams are bigger than the league. Not a chance the Premier League ever relegate United. Liverpool, facts. In fact, they probably won't even relegate City, who aren't even bigger, who aren't even anywhere near as big as United and Liverpool. And they probably won't relegate Chelsea, who've also admitted to breaking rules. It just is what it is. When you're that La Liga will never relegate Barca. We know Barca have got, you know what I mean? They've got that case. They've got the referee case. They've got a lot of corruption allegations and stuff like that. And the Bundesliga will never relegate Bayern. Facts. When you are big, you are big. He said, keep pretending it's the 90s. Well, I don't know what he's, I don't know. I mean, I know he's trolling at this point because, I mean, just look at the rate. Look at, he's getting ratioed by random Twitter accounts. Oh my days, it's embarrassing. Yeah, like, keep pretending it's the 90s. Bro, Man United are bigger than Newcastle in every walk of life in the current day. Forget the 90s, bruv. We're more successful than you in recent years. What are you talking about the 90s? We're still bigger than you now. What are you talking about? At least if you was a City fan, I'd understand it. Like, we're still bigger than City now. We are still bigger than Man City now. And the Man City fans will admit that. We're the big club. But at least they can sit there and go, like, last 10 years, we're more successful than you. We've got the best manager in the world. You know what I'm saying? We've won, what, 6 out of 8 Premier Leagues, 4 in a row, Champions League, treble, and all that stuff. Newcastle have won 1 League Cup in fucking 60-something years. Like, who do you think you are? You're a small club. You're literally a small club. You're only big in Newcastle. You're a one. Imagine being this much of a failure of a football club. You're a one-team city. One-team city in a decent-sized city. Newcastle, as well as the outskirts of South Shields, North Shields, Jarrett, all them cities, yeah? All them cities, all them towns and stuff like that. You should have a lot of fans in that area. And you still are a failure of a football club. A failure, a small tin pot club. Right? But listen, as I said, that's not even the worst part. Yeah? This is the worst part. I'll get to this one. You have any views on Manchester City with 115 charges or for cheating, or does that not get you any attention? The charges relate to funding a club via the owners. Remember that? The charges relate to funding via the owners, which should be allowed. Remember that? Remember that? That's a Man City charges are because of the owners. Remember that? That should be allowed. That should be allowed. It should be allowed. Okay, it should be allowed. Yeah, it should be. It's how Liverpool and Man United got into the positions incorrect, factually incorrect, factually not true. Man United and Liverpool didn't get into positions for the 70s and 2000s. Man United were good in the 50s, mate. We were good when we had all the fucking youth players, and obviously we know about the plane crash. Then we rebuilt our team and won the Champions League. That's called history. That's called tradition. That's called things you will never, ever, ever see. Yeah, it's not cheating. It's just against the corrupt rules. Well, firstly, if you break the corrupt rules, whether you think the rules are corrupt, if I think the jail system's corrupt and I think getting a parking ticket in a certain area is corrupt, doesn't matter if I park there and get a parking ticket, doesn't mean I don't have to fucking pay it. It's still breaking the rules. It's still against the law. You're not above the law, mate. You don't set the rules. You don't get to make out what's corrupt. The only reason you think it's corrupt is because you've got a sugar daddy. You can spend that more, outspend everyone else. So if Newcastle, owners got their own way and there were no rules, Newcastle owners would outspend every single team in the Premier League combined, brother. But that's the only reason. You don't care about that. That's the real thing. It's not about that. It's the fact that you can't spend money, because Man City wouldn't be able to spend that. Wouldn't be able to outspend your owners, and no one else would. The Premier League would become a farmers' league. Do you get what I'm saying? But this is the bit I wanted to touch on. The charges relate to a club funding a club via the owners, which should be allowed. So Man City are allowed to pump. Man City's owners should be allowed to pump in billions of pounds, yeah, and that should be allowed. It should be via the owners. So then, why don't you apply that same logic to Man United's debt? Because Man United's debt, if you know anything about it, it's called the Glazers' debt for a reason. Because the Glazers took a loan out to buy Manchester United, which is now illegal. You cannot buy a football club the way they bought us. They didn't spend 500 million of their own money. They bought us for 500 million on a loan. So that's why we have 500 million pound in debt, son. Yeah, do you know that? Oh, I bet you probably didn't know that because you're too thick and you're too lazy to do some research. Yeah. So if Man City's owners, you know what I mean, they should be allowed to fund. Why is it okay then for the Glazers to buy Man United on a loan and put us into debt? So that's not corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Doing something that's literally illegal. Yeah, literally illegal. If you went on Klarna, or if you went and took a mortgage out, right, and didn't fucking pay the bank back, it'd be illegal, wouldn't it? It'd be illegal. So why on earth Are the Glazers allowed to do that to Man United and then put us into debt by doing it? When it was in there, it was through them. We didn't. Man United as a football club didn't fucking put ourselves in debt. It's almost like you're agendaing, isn't it? It's almost like you're agendaing. It's almost like you've got an agenda. But you're too thick. You're too thick in your stupid brains. Honestly, thick as fuck. Thick as absolute fuck. Right? I can't believe it. Right, so Man City, apparently, them spending money is should be allowed for their owners pumping in money due to corrupt rules. But Man United's owners, Man United shouldn't be allowed to spend any money, which is a new thing they're running with. Man United shouldn't be allowed to spend any money until we clear our debt, which we can clear our debt, by the way. We can clear like that. The owners just don't want to. The owners just don't want to. Do you know why? It's the owners' debt, bruv. It's not Man United's debt. Also, let me just give you a little thingy. As I said earlier, Lyon is worth 400 million euros. Man United is worth 4 billion. There you go. Their debt is worth more than them. Man United's debt is not even worth half of what Man United are worth. Do you get it now? You use your brain. But don't worry though, lads. Apparently, yeah, Man United shouldn't be allowed to spend money until they clear the debt that we never put ourselves in. You know what I'm saying? Our debt is not the same as Barcelona's debt. Barcelona's debt was when they splashed a load of money out, gave Messi ridiculous contracts, bought Griezmann for 100 million, Coutinho 100 million, Dembele 100 million, gave them ridiculous contracts, gave out stupid contracts to certain players, and then COVID it, and they lost a bunch of money, and they couldn't afford to pay those wages. That's Barcelona's debt. Man United's debt is not buying players for loads of amount, and then not being able to pay them off or pay the wages off. That's not what Man United... Man United have always been able to self-sustain the deals. Self-sustain buying players and the wages and paying all that stuff. Of course we are. We're the biggest club in the world. Yeah? Man United debt is literally... In 2005, the owners left. The Glazers stole the football club. They did not buy the football club. They stole the football club. They have pumped a total of zero money. And since 2005, they've took out 2 billion fucking quid. But that's allowed. Oh, the Glazers, they're good for football because they can take out 2 billion. Yeah, they can take out 2 billion. Do you get what I'm saying? That's good. That's okay. It's their club. But Mike Ashley, oh, he's a scumbag, mate. He's a scumbag. You know what I'm saying? Tried to change the stadium to Sports Direct. Look at our stadium. That was probably the best stadium in the world 25 years ago. Old Trafford. I don't even know when the last time it got extended. 25 years ago, that was probably the best stadium on the planet. Now, all of a sudden, it's a shithole. Everyone's taking a piss out of it. Yeah, there's rats infested in the stadium. You know what I'm saying? When it was a rainy day against Arsenal over a year ago, look what happened. You get what I'm saying? It's literally falling apart, as they say. You get what I'm saying now? But don't worry, though, lads. Because FFP's corrupt and PSR's corrupt. Sorry, I couldn't think of what to say there. I'd say something, but then it must have went out my brain. Anyways, it's absolutely hilarious seeing the trauma we've absolutely caused on all these stupid idiots. But it's funny. It's always funny to embarrass these Newcastle fans. Jordan, I would love to know the average level of IQ in the northeast area, because it's got to be about 3. Around about 3. Personally, look, any Joeys you're watching, maybe you're not all idiots, but fuck me. Either they're not dumb and they're just agenda-based, or they are dumb. And I think it's a bit of both. Personally, I think it's a bit of both. I genuinely do. I think it's a bit of both. I don't know how you could even... It is what it is. But listen, subscribe if you're new, like the video, all that jazz. I'm out, people. Peace.